Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials on any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Okay, so basically first we will understand why is monitoring required. So uh, first of all, as you are already using Zabbix, you know the functionality that through monitoring tools we'll be able to capture you know the critical parameters which are there. So through that we'll be able to monitor the utilization, the performance of it, what is the network traffic which is going on. Okay.
Yeah.
So if the server goes down or if there is any utilization, high utilization, so we will be able to know, before that we have multiple thresholds that on 60%, on 70%, then 80%, we'll be able to know that, yeah, it is getting high and we can take relevant actions accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we'll be able to know that, yeah, this is happening and this will happen in the future, we can, minimize the downtime which is there.
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me 2 minutes? I'm just getting a call. Just
Sure,
give me 2
sure.
minutes.
Sure.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, Aish.
Yeah. So this is one of the dashboard for Zabbix. So as you are already using it, we get such kind of dashboards when we are monitoring the infra which is
Yeah.
there. Okay. Then what all things we can monitor through Zabbix? So first one is network monitoring. So in network we monitor these routers, switches, firewalls, even access points, and all are done through SNMP protocol. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we don't need any agents installed onto that system. Will be that will be an agentless monitoring, you can say, through which we will capture the network interfaces, what is the port status of that particular device, all those things. Then comes server monitoring. So in server monitoring, we have both agent as well as agentless monitoring. So
Okay.
for servers also, we need to install an agent, and that agent will capture the information of CPU, memory, disk, network, or any other application information as well, and it will send to the Zabbix server. Okay. And when we are monitoring a server without any agent, it will be done the similar way as we are monitoring a network device, like through SNMP protocol only. So on
Okay.
Windows server also, or a Linux server, we need to enable SNMP, and through SNMP we'll be able to capture those details which are there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have cloud monitoring. So in cloud monitoring, we can monitor the instances which are on cloud as well. So if your or the organization's infra is in AWS or Google Cloud or Azure Cloud, we can
Okay.
monitor those as well. So not
Okay, so
only on-premise monitoring, it supports cloud monitoring as well.
okay, so in our organization we have our own cloud which is built. So for that, how it works?
Yeah, for that it will be like on-premise only.
Okay,
It will act as an on-premise only because you have the entire infra with you.
yeah,
Then we have application monitoring. So on a particular Windows or a Linux machine, if there is any application running, we can monitor that as well. So basically, like we have standard applications, like we
okay,
have databases or applications like Exchange or Microsoft Exchange we have, or any other backup application is there, you know, which is taking backups like VM or any other application which is there. So we can, by default templates are available, but if we want any custom monitoring as well, we can create a script, whether it is in PowerShell or Python or any other language. We can run it through the Zabbix agent, and the
okay,
respective data which is captured, we can uh, get that data in on Zabbix only, and whatever we'll get the values, we can add those thresholds.
okay,
Okay. Then we have services monitoring. So here, uh, for a particular Windows or a Linux machine, there are n number of services which are running. So on any Windows machine, we have hundreds of background services. So what we can do is we can do a service discovery in which we'll capture all the service information
okay,
over there. And whenever that particular service is in stopped state, we can give the user the alert accordingly.
okay,
So that is possible for both Windows and Linux machines.
okay,
Then we have web monitoring. So here in web monitoring, we can monitor the websites which are there. So we actually just need the URL, and on basis of that, we'll be able to capture the response time of that website and the response code. So whenever I'm accessing the website and it is working fine, it gives the response code as 200. Okay, that means a particular website is working fine. Then multiple times you have gone to the websites and you get an error code 404, okay, or any other 503 server and client side errors which are there. So we can capture those particular codes and we can provide an alert to the user that we are getting 404 alert for this
yeah,
particular website. So that is also possible through Zabbix. Then we have the storage devices. So in your organization as well, there will be multiple storages which are there, whether it is HP, Dell, IBM
yeah,
storage, or any other storage which is there. So we can
okay,
monitor
yeah,
those storages as well. So
okay,
there are multiple solutions. For few of the
okay,
storages, we monitor it through SNMP, like
okay,
Dell or NetApp storage. For few of them, we need to add a particular script. For few of the storages, we monitor it through APIs. So there are multiple
okay,
methods through which we can monitor. Then we have virtual machines. So if your environment is on VMware or Hyper-V, we will be able to monitor that.
okay,
So if we are monitoring a particular VMware environment, we don't need to install agents on each and every VM which is there.
okay,
We'll be adding the vCenter or a individual ESXi host okay, and we'll be monitoring it through API.
Okay. So
So
should
you will get,
we yeah,
yeah,
should we actually write build APIs? How it is?
no. This particular Zabbix tool has its own API integration with the vCenter and ESXi hosts.
Okay.
So we just need to provide, we just need to create a user on vCenter, okay, or individual ESXi host, and we just need to pass the credentials to Zabbix,
Okay.
and all the VMs information will be discovered, and we'll get all the data on Zabbix.
Okay.
Next, we have Java applications. So we can monitor Java applications as well. Okay.
Okay.
So whether the application is running or not, and other parameters which are there.
Okay.
Then we have the databases. So in databases, we can monitor, mostly all the databases, whether it is Microsoft SQL, whether it is, MySQL, MongoDB, Oracle database. We can do all those things.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even whether the database is present on a Windows or a Linux machine, we can do both.
Okay.
Then we have the KPI and SLA. So here we can capture the availability in percentage basis. So for example, uh, if I have onboarded a particular Zabbix, any server onto it, and
Okay.
I'm just checking the availability. So it's telling me
Okay.
that out of, in a month, if I am filtering out, in a month, it is showing that for 20 days it was available, and for 10 days it was, the server was not working or the agent was not working. So we'll be
Okay.
able to get the percentage, uh, like it was 90% available or any other percentage which is there. Even we
Okay.
can combine the 5 6 servers, okay,
Okay.
and we can get a combined availability of those servers.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
Then we have telephony. So in telephony we can monitor the uh, landlines and other devices which are there. So basically we are just doing ping monitoring of those devices. So whether it is a biometric device or a UPS or a printer, we can monitor those devices as well.
Okay.
Then we have security. So in security, we can monitor multiple devices, whether it is a firewall, okay, or it is related
Yeah.
to an antivirus, okay. So we can get
Okay.
respective information of individual devices which are there.
Okay. Okay.
Then we have the metric collection. So here we as I already told you that multiple ways are there to monitor those devices. So we have a multi-platform agent which is there. So like for Windows also we have an agent, for Linux, uh, and for Linux as well, multiple flavors: Ubuntu, Red Hat, CentOS. So we have agents to monitor that. Then we have SNMP. So through SNMP, we monitor the network devices, or we do the agentless monitoring of the servers as well. Okay. Then we have IPMI. So IPMI is used to monitor the hardware health. Okay. So basically, if you have physical servers, okay,
Yeah.
so we can get the hardware information as well, that what is the power supply, what is the hard disk which are there, so what is the voltage, the fan status, the temperature status, those values.
Including the temperature, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can get those through IPMI. Then we have agentless monitoring, as I told you. Then we have the custom methods. So in custom methods, it's like similar way. We can create our own template. We can run a particular script, which is giving me, particular values of information, and we can show it on the Zabbix dashboard, and accordingly we can alert the user.
Okay.
Then we
So
have, yeah.
I had one doubt. I mean, actually, I was almost struggling for a year to build a custom template. I mean, for
Mhm.
network devices. So, for example, if what I need to monitor is a firewall or a switch, anything, any network device. But for
Mhm.
that, I need a custom template, not for, I mean, product related. It's not like for Cisco one template, for Juniper one template. So I wanted a template which should apply for all the network devices, a single template. Can it be possible?
Yeah, we can have a generic template which is there. We can use the generic templates.
Yeah, but with the generic template, I didn't get much, much data. So I didn't get temperature. I didn't get, I mean, other some other things which I wanted. With for example, let's say Cisco. So I had a Cisco device and a Juniper device. So even for a
Mhm.
Cisco device, if I apply a generic template, it was not giving me the temperature.
Okay.
So for that, I went for Cisco template, which I
Mhm.
downloaded from Zabbix Share. So one of it was
Mhm.
not working. Another one was giving multiple values. I don't know for what it was giving. So still now I'm struggling for that.
Okay. So basically the template that you are saying now, the Cisco
Yeah,
template which is there.
yeah,
So that Cisco template can be used as a generic template because it has multiple discoveries. Okay.
yeah.
You will not get, those discoveries and discovery items on other templates. So we
Okay,
can just copy those discovery items to the
okay,
respective templates that you need,
okay, okay.
because we are monitoring it through SNMP protocol, which is generic for all the devices.
Yeah,
Might be possible that that particular device, which is there, Juniper or any other device, is not capturing those values on OIDs. There are no similar OIDs for
yeah.
that device. Okay, because for each parameter there is a single OID. Okay,
So how
so
does this OIs work? I mean, it will be different for yeah,
yeah, there are some basic generic OIDs which are there, but for different vendors, it can, differentiate.
yeah.
It will not be similar, but for particular monitoring of 10 particular generic parameters, it will be same. But for each and every vendor like Cisco, Juniper, or Checkpoint Firewall, it might be different.
Sorry,
So
I lost you
accordingly,
because
we need to apply those
yeah, I mean
templates.
my internet
It can't
connection.
be generic for all the devices. For few devices, you will be able to capture the temperature status. For few devices, you will not be able to do that. It's not like you will get the information for all the devices.
Okay, okay. So if we have a device which has got, I mean, I'm talking about normal switch and firewall. So for switch and firewall, we will get the temperature, right? Normally.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
there.
normally we will be able to capture.
Okay,
But we need to check whether that particular OID is present for that device also.
okay.
So, are you aware of the SNMP walk command? Is there?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So, when we use the SNMP walk command, we mention the SNMP community and the IP of that device.
Right.
And after doing that, we can mention a particular OID value as well. So if we are getting an output of that OID, that means it will work.
Okay.
If we are getting no output, then for that device, we can't monitor that.
Yeah, I'm confused with the OIDs actually. I don't know how it works or how to get the OIDs like that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so basically it's a tree only
Okay.
that there are particular parameters for it. So for a single parameter, the OID can be like 1.2.1. Something like that. Okay. So it might be different for a different device.
Okay.
So there can't be any generic template that you can use, but most of the things we'll be able to capture.
Okay. So it depends on the device, right?
Yeah, because the vendors are different.
Okay, vendors, yeah.
Then we have end user web monitoring. So website monitoring is also possible. So that I have already conveyed to you.
Yeah.
Then we have problem detection. So we can, add multiple thresholds which are there. So as you are aware, we have 6 different thresholds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one is information warning, high, then we have disaster, like that. So for a single value, for a single like CPU utilization alert, we can add 6 severities, and for individual severities, we can notify the user accordingly. So if there are 2 users who want the alert on the minimum severity, we can do that. Then on next severity, some other people are there. Then on next severity, some other people we need to notify. So we can do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So these thresholds, we can add it on items only. So if that particular item is created on that template, then only we'll be able to add the trigger onto it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
items are like parameters, we can call.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Okay. And trigger will only be applied on the particular item only.
Okay. So yeah, one more thing. So we will copy the discovery rules, right, to the template.
Mhm.
I mean, if you are creating custom template, so in
Mhm.
that we will not get the items, right? So we can't set the thresholds for those, right?
I didn't get your point.
I mean, I tried one of the way, to get one of the parameter. So what I did
Mhm.
is I copied a discovery rule from a template to a custom template. Okay.
Okay.
So it gave me the results in the dashboard in the latest data.
Okay.
Okay, but I didn't have it under the items when I go to the host.
See, if that discovery is working, it will create those item prototypes. Even
Oh,
the trigger prototypes will also be reflected.
okay, okay. So that I didn't check. Okay, yeah.
Mhm. So if you are copying it from any other template, you just need to recheck whether the item prototypes are also there or only the discovery rule is there. So if it's only the discovery rule, it's of no use. You need to create those item prototypes if they are not available.
Okay, yeah.
Then we have visualization. So Zabbix has its own dashboards and maps which are there. Okay. So we have
Yeah.
multiple widgets. If you have checked the dashboard, we can create our own dashboards. If I want to see a numeric value, I can just put a widget on the dashboard. If I want to see a graph, I can do that. If I want to add a map also, I can add it on the dashboard. Okay.
Okay.
So basically it's for visualization. Even are you using Grafana as well?
I
Or
was, I mean, long time ago when, I mean, 1.5 year ago when we started with Zabbix, I was using Grafana as well. And later, we didn't get knowledge about Zabbix. We were stuck and we stopped it.
okay. So we have the Zabbix has integration with Grafana as well, and whatever
Yeah.
value we are capturing on Zabbix can be sent to Grafana, and
Yeah.
we can have a better dashboards on Grafana.
So is it only for the dashboard or only for the graphs? Because I saw only graphs in Grafana.
Yeah, static values can also be sent to Grafana
Okay.
because Grafana has its own widgets, the panels which are there. So there you will get other widgets like, you know, bar graph. The visualization is different.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I have seen that. Yes.
Mhm. Even we can show the data in table format as well, and other things are also there.
Yes.
So if you're not happy with these Zabbix dashboards, then you can use Grafana dashboards as well.
Okay.
Then we have notification and remediation. So for notification purpose, we create the media types. Okay, there are media types on which we need to add the information. So for email notification, we need to configure the SMTP details on Zabbix.
Okay.
Okay. Through that, we'll capture it will integrate to the mail server, and then whatever alert is getting generated on Zabbix, we can send to the end user.
Okay.
And even for notification, there are multiple actions. There is a tab called actions on which we can define that for this particular host or host groups, we need to send an email notification to this particular user.
Okay.
So those customizations are there.
Okay.
Then we can escalate those problems as well. So in those actions, we can add a particular time frame as well. So for 1 hour, for whenever I'm getting the alert, it will send it to a particular user. Then after an hour or 2-3 hours, if it's still not resolved, we can send those alerts to a different set of users. So
Okay.
that is for escalation purpose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even not only we can send the alerts on mail, we can send those alerts on SMS as well. Okay.
Okay.
We can send those alerts on Telegram application as well.
Mm-hmm.
We can send those alerts on your Microsoft Teams as well. So multiple platform integrations are there. So we can do that.
Okay.
Then we have the auto discovery feature. Okay.
Okay.
So here in network discovery, we can do a discovery of the entire subnet which is there.
Okay.
So we just need to mention the subnet, and it will capture all the IPs which are pingable.
Okay.
It will give you the list that this particular IP is pingable through Zabbix agent and which is not. So through this discovery, we'll be able to get that. So that is called a network discovery. Then we have low level discovery. So low level discovery is like the thing that we were talking about. You copied a particular discovery rule. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is called a low level discovery.
To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option.
Okay.
That means on a Windows machine, I can create one discovery item which is there. That item will capture all the like service monitoring. So if you check your Windows machine in the background, it has hundreds of services. So we can
Right.
create a discovery item for it. It will capture all the services. Then we can create the item prototypes, and one by one, I will get all the parameters. So that is called a low level discovery.
Okay. So
Then
we
we
will
have,
get it
yeah,
for services as well, right? So all the services if we want.
yeah,
For example, AD service and event management service, everything.
not event management, but the all the Windows services that are there. So if you have
Okay.
SQL as well, you have any other application, so all these services will come in.
Okay. Okay.
So you are talking about the event management service.
Yes.
Yeah, all the services will be discovered.
Okay.
Similarly, for a network device, if you see the discovery rule, there is one discovery rule, and then we have multiple item prototypes. So that discovery rule is capturing all the ports, switch ports or router ports which are there. So that
Okay.
is called the low level discovery.
Okay.
Then we have auto registration. So in auto
Okay.
registration, what we can do is when we are installing the agent, okay, we need in the configuration file, we just need to do a small change in that particular configuration file, and that small change we will just add it on the Zabbix portal on the front end.
Okay.
Okay. So what it will do is on all the servers on which we have installed the agents, those agents will send the data to Zabbix server on Zabbix portal, and those hosts will automatically get created instead of manually creating those hosts.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so agent installation we need to do in the backend. In the front end, we just need to there is particular string or a particular keyword, you can say, that needs
Okay.
to be maintained on both the ends. So it will start creating those hosts on the front end.
Okay.
Okay, even we can attach the respective templates to that hosts.
Oh, okay.
So that is possible. So that is called auto registration.
Okay. There was, there is one feature in Observium. So Observium is another monitoring tool, right? So
Mhm.
how it works is, for example, if I have a Windows machine, I will not add a template or I will not do anything. I'll just add the host name and
Mhm.
click OK. It will fetch the details and it will show us it's a Microsoft Windows, and it will start monitoring. So will it happen with
Similarly, in Zabbix as well. Similarly, in Zabbix, we are just mentioning the hostname, we are mentioning the IPs. Whenever we are attaching the template, that means we are uh, putting it in a group, you can say. So for
Okay.
Windows, you need to attach a Windows template only.
Okay.
That we need to do.
Okay.
So it's a way of adding a set of parameters that it is a Windows. If a Windows template is attached to it, I know that it is a Windows server. Even you
Okay.
can filter it out according to the template in the portal. That show me the servers which has a Windows template attached to it. So you will get the entire Windows inventory.
Okay.
Next, coming on to the next part, that is distributed monitoring. So there is one concept that is called Zabbix proxy. Okay.
Okay.
So if I'm installing an agent, okay, and
Okay.
I can directly mention the Zabbix server IP onto it.
Okay.
Okay, and then that agent is directly connecting to the Zabbix server.
Okay.
There is no role of proxy into it.
Okay.
But I can distribute the load. So for example, if I have multiple networks, okay,
Yeah.
I can add multiple proxy servers in between the agent and the Zabbix server.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the agent will then send the data to Zabbix proxy, and then the proxy will send the data to Zabbix server.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that the load is distributed. So if you
Yeah.
have a firewall in which the agent is directly not connecting to the server, we can create those architecture,
Okay.
and we can monitor those devices as well. So for multiple networks, we can use a proxy.
Okay.
So this is one uh, presentation regarding the architecture.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you can see this is data center 1 on the left side. On right hand side we have data center 2.
Right.
So in the center, this is the server. We call it as a Zabbix server. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and in the bottom we have a square box, that is the Zabbix proxy.
Okay.
And on the right hand side we have another, you can call it as a Zabbix proxy.
Okay.
So if you see in data center 1, in this particular outer circle we have number of devices like server, switches, UPS. So
Yes.
we can directly communicate with the Zabbix server. Okay,
Yeah.
we can do a direct communication as well. That's not an issue.
Okay.
And if I want to have a different, we have a different set of devices that I want to monitor it through proxy, so that the load is distributed. So on a single network also I can add a proxy server.
Okay.
So that server, router, switch will send the data to Zabbix proxy,
Proxy.
and then
Yeah.
it will send the data. Also
Okay.
for data center 2, we can have a different Zabbix proxy server, and it will locally get the data from the devices, and then it will send to the Zabbix server.
Okay.
So that's how we can create the architecture of monitoring, so that the load is distributed.
Okay.
So then we have specific terms which are there.
Yeah.
So one is Zabbix server. So that is the core part of Zabbix. So it has all the things: the MySQL database, the front end, the web, everything is there. So we call it as a Zabbix server, which stores all the information. Then we
Yeah.
have Zabbix proxy. The
Okay.
proxy collects the data on behalf of Zabbix server. Okay.
Yeah.
So proxy will locally capture and then send the data to Zabbix server. Okay. Then we have Zabbix agent. So Zabbix agent is installed on individual machines, Windows, Linux, any other OS, and it will capture the parameters, CPU, memory, other things, and it will send the data to the monitoring tool.
Okay.
Then we have the database storage. So all the data which is being captured is stored on the Zabbix server only. Okay. We can create a database on Zabbix proxy as well. Okay. So if
Okay.
the communication breaks between Zabbix proxy and the Zabbix server, so the Zabbix proxy starts collecting the data and store it with itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So that proxy will locally store the data for 1 or 2 hours. And whenever the connection is established between proxy and server, it will push all the data to the server. So locally also we can store it on proxy, but the main storage is Zabbix server only. Then we have the web interface. So that is the GUI which is there. So we need to install it separately. Okay. So Zabbix server installation, MySQL installation is different. Zabbix web installation is different. So web provides a GUI, and we need to link the GUI to the backend. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have active and passive checks. Okay.
Okay.
So Zabbix active and passive, what does it mean? So first of all, if you see the first diagram, that is a passive check. So on left hand side, you can see there is a Zabbix server. On right hand side, this is a Zabbix agent. So passive means the Zabbix server is requesting the data, asking the agent for a particular parameter or an item. Okay. So Zabbix server raises a request, then the
Okay.
agent gives a response.
Okay.
Okay. So that is a passive way. Okay. So for example, if the first attempt of request, the first handshake is done by the Zabbix server only.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the Zabbix
Not by the
server,
agent. Okay.
not by the agent. So the communication is established first by the Zabbix server. And in active, it is opposite. The
Okay.
Zabbix agent makes a communication to the server. Okay. So it asked for the list of all the active checks. Okay. Then the Zabbix server gives the items like CPU load, free space, and other parameters. Then it's sent to him, and then the agent replies that CPU load is 0.93%, then free space is 30 GB, like that. Okay. So that is active and passive. Even when you are creating an item, okay, there is a type.
Okay.
Have you checked that? There is a
Uh,
drop down for the type, that it should be a Zabbix agent, then it should be a Zabbix agent, and in bracket it is written active.
yeah, right. I have seen it.
Yes. And in that drop down, you will get SNMP agent as well. You will get external
Yes.
check drop.
Yes.
You will get another thing, right? So it depends on me how I want to capture the data. I want it actively or passively.
Okay.
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 So that is the difference.
Yeah.
Then there is another term called Zabbix sender. For example, I installed an agent onto one of the devices. Okay. And I've created a host on the Zabbix frontend GUI.
Okay.
But for a few minutes, it doesn't come up.
Okay.
Okay. I installed the agent. I checked on Zabbix also, but the data is not coming. It's not green over there. So I'm not able to know that whether the activity is done or not. So
Okay.
there is one functionality called Zabbix sender. Okay. So manually we can run this particular command, and we can mention a particular item key. Okay, and then we can send the data to it.
Okay.
So instead of Zabbix server requesting the data when it is sent to it, I can do it my own, and in seconds I will be able to know that the connectivity is established or not.
Okay.
So we need to run this particular thing on the Zabbix agent.
Agent. Okay.
Okay. Then the similar term we have for Zabbix get. So Zabbix get, we need to run it on Zabbix server backend Linux,
Yeah.
if I want to check the connectivity. So I will use the Zabbix get command, in which I will mention the IP address of that server, the port, and a particular key item like system.cpu.load. So if
How
I
will
will run this
get the
command,
key items, Ayush?
see if I'm attaching a template to it on the front end,
Yeah.
I am able to get the list of all the keys, right?
Okay.
On that template. So I can mention any key, any generic key which is there, like system.cpu.load is a generic key for both Windows and Linux device.
Okay.
Okay. So I can
Yeah.
mention that key here, and if I get the value like CPU load 0.5 or point something like that, I'm able to know that yeah, the connectivity is established, and the server will capture the data in another 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just for knowing that yeah, agent is installed, the connectivity is established, it will capture the data, but in some time.
Okay.
So these are the specific terms that you need to remember, which are there.
Okay.
So basically, in this first session, I have basically covered all the theory which is there. Okay.
Yeah.
There are multiple learning platforms on Udemy or LinkedIn Learning. You can subscribe to that particular thing, and you will get relevant information on that as well.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.